There we go. Hello. Just there we go. Here I am. Oh, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year as we're heading in to 2026. I don't have anything actually, anything planned this morning to say or anything, but I do want to talk a little bit about. I don't have anything planned, but I do have things planned. It's just one of those things. It's been a hectic few days. But it's slowly leveling out some of the energies and what has been going around. I feel like my whole world has been chaotic, which it has, and so we're going to put that to a side and we're going to focus on some of the elements that are coming through right now. Now, y'all know I love astrology. Like, astrology is my thing. I love astrology. I love the rhythms and paying attention to the natural rhythms of astrology, and especially the rhythms of the moon. That's why I do new moon and full moon readings for people. And because there's a steady cycle of the planets, right? The subtle timing of things. When we initiate, when to initiate, when to pause. I mean, there's something about the nuances about the planets and our solar system that is a rhythm for thousands of years. I mean, we humans lived in the natural rhythms. We planted crops by the moon. My astrology um, calendar will show you when to go fishing, when to start planting, when to start seeding. You know, set sail under specific stars. I mean, we choose moments for weddings, agreements, and major decisions based on when life itself seemed more supportive. That's what, the sun and the moon and the alliances of all the planets like Jupiter and Uranus and Saturn. There's an alignment there. It tells us the ebbs and the flows and on the energies of what is coming forward and how we should be paying more attention. But somewhere along the way, in the rush towards productivity and speed and certainty, we've drifted away from it all. I mean, when you talk to a young woman and you say, "Hey, do you know what your moon cycle is?" And they'll say, "Well, what's a moon cycle?" Right? They don't understand their own menstrual cycle and how their menstrual cycle is connected to the moon. I was amazed that companies like Kotex and Stay Free actually have um, a museum and actually have studied the moon rhythms with the flow of women's menstrual cycles and when it is best to promote them. Yet, women themselves, many of them had no idea. Many have no idea about, what it is about perimenopause and stepping in to the new cycles. And you can see in a person's chart the alignment, especially when Uranus comes in. You're going through perimenopause. It's about 45 years old. That's when the crucial initiation starts with everything. Yes, there are little onsets and things that come beforehand, but 45 is sort of that year, and you see, oh, they're having their Uranus conjunction. And that means unexpectedness is coming in, change is coming in, new ideas, new flows, new energies are getting you to create something within your life that you haven't done before, or you put on hold, or you have dismissed. Yet in our society, we are not told to pause. We are not told to take that time. We're not, we've learned to override timing instead of listening to it. Our ancestors understood this for, tens of thousands of years. But somewhere along the way, and I'd say it could have been around the Georgian era coming in, and then of course the Industrial Revolution coming in, and where things started just getting crazy. And we're in the cycle still of getting crazy. There's a natural rhythm to the universe. And when we align with the intelligence already at work, Life tends to meet us halfway. Astrology isn't a like fortune telling kind of thing. It's one that helps to guide you, align you. There are different things that we can do to predict, like predictive astrology, which I've done, mundane astrology, what is happening in the world and in the world around us, and what that looks like, to, you know, um, health astrology and looking at a person's chart, and you can see, okay, there's going to be disruption in your health, or there's going to be something that's coming up in your health. There's even things that you can look at in a person's chart and saying, hey, you know what, um substance abuse is something that you should really stay away from, because you have this alignment that can increase it or make it more negative in your life and cause havoc later on. These are the sort of things that can help and guide you, and that's what I do. And now that we're approaching 2026, a year astrologers are saying is dissolving the old form. And yes, very, yeah, Neptune and Saturn, I mean, they do meet every what is it, every 68 years, but this is where they're meeting this time at 0 degrees Aries is 6,400 years. They haven't met at this degree before. We know it's the end of an era. We know that there's something ending. We don't know what exactly is going to be the new formation. That's about that's up to all of us on how we are wanting to reshape our identity and the structures of how we work. The collective moment of becoming. What is it that we are wanting to become as a collective? And this is very important for us to really sit back and look at it. There's a lot of fear mongering definitely out there, a lot of divisions out there that are trying to divide us. And this is where it's like, where do we and how do we want to reshape things? We have gotten into a complacent way of being where we have been able to pass the buck. Oh, somebody else is going to do it, or they're going to do it, or, let's rely on the government. And, we've seen how well that's actually taken care of us. And even with our latest government, right? Um, we have become complacent with our government. We've become complacent in what they do, and a lot of people complain, yeah, they just gave how many billions of dollars away again, and we're looking at the state of our own country and how it's being run. But this is a year of huge transformation and change. We have the convergence of many different timelines coming in at once that are urging us to create these changes. And a lot of this will have to start within ourselves and understanding our ebbs and flows. And because fear collapses us, attunement opens us, right? And I do, at the end of every year, I do a yearly um, readings for people for 2026. I take their natal chart, and we do the tarot, and we go through each month and bringing forth what is the energy for you this month? What is it? Is this a good month to maybe sell the house? Maybe this is a good month to create a new project. Maybe this is where you start something new. So, maybe it shows me like, okay, right now you got to really start focusing on your health. If you're not focusing on your health, I can see within the astrology, there's going to be some disruptions coming up in August, September, October for you. So you really have to be aware of this and making and tweaking some changes at this time. So that's what my reading is. And it is a thing that helps to bring in some timing for you and helping you to understand the ebbs and the flows as we are looking at the outside world, as we're looking at the energies that are coming in and around us, and how we can work with them and not panic. That's the whole thing, is panicking is a huge thing for people. They don't want to they don't want to do the work, or they don't want to acknowledge. what is happening. They don't want to, take ownership with what's happening. And the unseen currents that shape our lives, whether we acknowledge them or not, they're there. And this is where also there are certain dates that are better for some people and not better for others, right? Some dates are like, this is probably not a good day to go, to catch a flight. There might be delays, there might be extra turbulence, there might be, where all of a sudden it's like, oh, well, the whole thing got canceled, right? On that date. So things will happen and you're like, oh, right. Mary said, don't travel on that date. Look what happened. So, things along that. There are these different pulses within the energies of the earth, and we are in a solar system. We are in an energetic pull between many different planets and different solar systems as well. And we don't know all of what it is. But we do know, or we can know, how to deal with where we are and what we are doing and how we can work with our ebbs and our flows. And that's so important, especially with the energies that are coming forth for 2026. They're going to they could be overwhelming. They could be getting you out of focus. We are coming into the year of the horse, so we are shedding all. That's what this whole year was, is shedding, right? The snake shedding everything, shedding things, whether it's relationships, whether it's health issues, whether it's, things, different karmic levels, that's what we've been shedding. And it's to look at, like, have I been taking that responsibility for it? And have I been really working on doing the changes I need to do in my life? And this is where I feel like for 2026, it's so important for us to find that ebb and flow. I also have a course that is for the month of January. Some people have been working with me over the last several months on different workbooks that I have put out. And January is one that I'm going to be implementing, not only with the workbooks and working with the workbooks, it's also that on Sundays we're going to be doing meditations and just doing just a nice little meditation, a connection, and a review of the different things that are coming up and what we have been working for. January is the seed planting. It's a seed planting month. It's a month for us to really sit down and noodle over things. Maybe pick up some books that we've been intending to read, and read more and find more of the things that interest us, right? And this is also a year to not get stuck on the kind of dream you think this is the way it's supposed to be. This is the way it's supposed to look, or this is the way that I want it to be. And being open to how the universe wants to guide you and mold you into something more and something greater. And that's a huge piece to this year. If you are really gun ho on, I am going to do this, and this is how I'm going to do it, and this is how I'm going to see it done, and I'm going to, you know, uh, I'm going to say you might find some things crashing down on you, because you have to allow. You have to allow for things to flow. You have to allow for things to move. But if you get stuck in the concrete of things, if you get stuck in how your ego says it needs to be, um, you're gonna be disappointed, very disappointed, because it's not gonna happen. Just saying. So we are heading into a new opportunities and new worlds. The door is not fully open right now. We're kind of in the thresholds of everything. And in that, I'm going to say, in that sleep time, in that sort of creating time, allowing for things to moodle and mold, and um, to create our visions, but not to hold on to them, that they have to be exactly the way you think they have to be, because that's just not going to work out. And it is a time where I'm going to say, if for a lot of people, if You know, I've been always saying to be prepping. Prepping is good. But if you buy gold, if you buy silver coin, I'd say start buying silver coin. Start buying your coins, right? Because it's going to be very important for you to have um, some coins. And I have a few. I have this one, this coin here. Now, when I was given this coin, I'll pull her out. And this is the guy's Euphoria. And it's a 1 ounce coin. Now, when this coin was bought, it was bought for $40. And now this coin is worth over $100. And that's only a few years. If you are able to buy coin, buy, because not necessarily gold, because gold can dissolve, but coin like silver is something that is used in industrial, and it's used as trade. So I mean, silver is used in a lot of electronics. It's used in AI. It is something that is very valuable right now. And if you are able to start buying silver coin, which I have been, I have a few more that I have of silver coins, and just purchasing them every time I get paid. I've been purchasing a silver coin, a 1 ounce silver coin, and sometimes if you want to purchase, like bars and stuff like that, 10 ounce bars, you don't have to go for the perfect one. You can go for ones that look like a pirate bar, and find that they're worth the same thing as something that looks very perfect. So this is one of the things that you're going to find that it's going to be important, and hanging on to it. Even though it might go up to, and my prediction, it's going to go up to over $500 an ounce, that just continue to hold on to it, because it is going to skyrocket. And that's the other thing in 2026, is that you're going to see things like gold and silver are going to hit astronomical points. I mean, people are just now talking about it. I've been talking about it for a long time and telling people. And now people are now, it's like paying attention, like saying, "Oh, but now it's just like $100 or it's $70 US." Um, at least that was on Friday. But, and saying, "Oh, that's just so expensive." Well, when it's $500, you're going to say, "Oh, that's so expensive." Right? So that's one of the things. The other thing too is that we don't know what's going to be happening within Taiwan and in different areas like China, and that comes down to your medications. Having a backup system and doing your investigation on backup systems, on where you can get medications, or making sure that you have a backup system with your medications, especially if you have heart problems, high blood pressure, diabetic, the list goes on of different things, and having a backup system, especially in 2026. You're going to find that either they're going to be running very low, or they're not going to have it. And that's going to be, not that war, the thing is that not that war is on our land, not the kind of war that you're thinking of, but that it's going to be in other places and you won't be able to get items. Right now, a lot of things are made in Vietnam, and we're going to find that with, like when I was, a lot of clothing and stuff, they've moved from China to Vietnam. That right now they just closed how many millions of bank accounts, because people said they're not going to do digital ID, and the government went in and closed all these bank accounts on people, and because people are revolting. So we're going to find that anything that is like coming in, especially from Vietnam and in around that area, that it's going to either take longer, or we're going to get shorted. It's not going to be coming in. So that's the other thing is like to making sure that you're shopping local. Get used to shopping local. Get used to shopping at your, local food mart and farmers market. You're going to find that it's going to be, an important thing, and also getting to know, who your local grocer is. Even if you shop at Safeway or Save On Foods or any of those ones, knowing the manager, saying hi to the manager. I mean, they have their picture up there, say hi to them, get to know them, because they'll be the ones that'll say, "Hey, yeah," you start talking, you're like, "Oh, how's everything going? Oh, we're having problems." People just love telling you things. So on what is happening. So these are some of the things for 2026. Yes, I've been saying it, but I'm saying like this is like coming to a head because that Neptune and Saturn conjunction at 0 degrees Aries. You got to understand that Aries is fire, it is a spark. And we have Neptune and Saturn, two very um, malefic planets are coming in. Planets that are very structured and very chaotic, ones that bring in illusions and distractions, to wanting that if you are wanting to be organized and create a very strong spiritual life, yeah, we'll work with you and we will get the sparks going. But if you're not, if you're wanting to meander all over the place and not put in some structures, not put in, different things, then you're going to find it might be a little bit difficult. Things like prepping meals for the week is another good thing. Just having and just maybe having a few meals already prepped and ready to go is a valuable thing. Having, even frozen foods, like or dehydrated foods, if you can do the dehydrated foods, but even some form of a backup frozen foods. These are these are things because we are seeing right now, like even in the States, all the flooding and everything else. That's that's just the tip of the iceberg of some of the energies and some of the craziness that is going to unfold for us when it comes to um, events when it with weather-wise. Colder winters. We're coming into a warm snap here, but we're gonna go right down into a real deep freeze here in Calgary or in the prairie provinces. We're gonna start seeing these really cold temperatures dropping. Canning turkey broth as we speak. Yeah, perfect, beautiful. Things like that are an element of, yeah, do it. If you're not a canner, if you're not a person who can do that, as I said before, start doing some backup. Medication is the big one. Formation, and that's what Steve and I are looking at right now, are looking at different companies that do have backups for people who's diabetic. And looking at what they have on hand, and just even getting their basic antibiotic kit is something really, a good thing to get. Now this is where my mind had I had to work through this. It's like, "Oh, but it's $200 or it's $300, and that's so much money." Then you sit back and you think about, "Well, what have I spent 2 and $300 on?" Without even thinking sometimes, or all the little things that I do spend money on that maybe, you know what? Maybe I'm not gonna do that, right? I'm not going to, indulge in these types of things as much anymore. So these are the things that are going to be imperative because as we get into March and April of next year, that's when things are going to become extremely, I'm going to use the word explosive. And there's going to be a lot of things exploding, a lot of things imploding. Especially, I've said in the last few years that things are going to get noisy. And things have gotten really noisy. It's, the chatter, everything, the inundation of things coming at you, the chat GPT and things being thrown at you with AI and etc. But I find that there's also going to be where things are going to be extremely explosive. So things exploding, things imploding, things just, happening that, um, and especially because you have Neptune and Saturn in Aries. So Aries is a spark. So it's going to spark things. It's going to get things really ignited in many, many different ways, right? And being a cardinal sign, it is a sign that says, this is where I'm going. This is what I'm doing. The other thing with Aries, it needs to, it wants to have support. It wants to have something that that can work with them and guide them. So community is a huge one, and having that community support and community around you is something very is something that will be needed in 2026, to not isolate yourself. Isolation is not going to be a positive thing. Reaching out, being a part of a community, knowing that you're able to call somebody at the drop of a hat and you know that they're going to be there is absolutely fabulous. I had that this week, and it was, yeah, the person showed up. Just I just said, "Help," and they were there. And it was it was something that helped to guide, helped to get through a certain situation, and, move us into a proper direction that needed to happen. So, this is where we are at a turning I hate to use that word, turning point, but, a turning point. We're at this huge turning point, and you're gonna hear, because not only because of Turning Point USA, but you're gonna hear that phrase being used quite a bit coming up into 2026. "Oh, this is such a turning point, this is such." So you have to sort of take a step back and say, "Okay, what manipulation is coming in that they are trying to create for the society, create for us?" Um, and they'll be trying to use it in a way that is, a turning point of communication, or a turning point that gets us to be able to um, get things more easily done, right? Like digital ID, etc. So, exposure, much is going to be exposed next year. A lot of truth is going to be coming out, um, more so than what we've seen before. Truth on many different levels, not only from government, but to even from day to day, everyday people, friends, families, um, being exposed for whatever reason. Could be good or could be bad, right? It's all depending how you look at it. Sometimes when something seems really horrible and it's being exposed, could be the best thing to get that person or that situation to change, and for them to be on a road that is bringing forth a better way of life for them. But at the time, it's not. At the time, it's like horrific and horrible and hard. And so that's why I say, you have a dream, you have an idea, this is the way it's going to be. And the hand of the universe, the hand of God is going to reroute it in some way, and reroute it in a way that you never even thought that would happen. And that comes in, especially with Uranus. And Uranus is in Taurus right now. So there's a lot of planets in Taurus and Capricorn right now. So it's really great for building foundations, for getting things moving, to really entering into something new. Pluto's not in Capricorn right now. So it's sort of giving us a little bit of a free rein, since he was in there for so long, since 2008. And now he's in Aquarius. So Aquarius is us discovering new things, new ideas, new ways of doing things, to bringing in some very crazy abstract ideas that you don't have to go along with. He's just bringing things up to the surface. And some of them are going to be pretty crazy and far out. And others are going to be like, oh shit. Okay, I kind of suspected that all along, you know? I still got my Hello Kitty mug. Um, so this is where we're at right now. We're coming to the end of the year. I'm looking at doing my predictions for 2026, and looking into the 2026 for predictions. Um, I've done it for many years, and I just might just do, if I'm going to do any predictions, may not be for the full year, might be just for the first winter spring kind of thing, because there is just some major conjunctions that are coming up, especially not only in February, but in January too, and then again in March. So we have some major conjunctions that are very fiery and, as I said, explosive that are coming in. As for Canada, I think Candace put out on her Facebook, and it's very true what she wrote. Canada is going to be under a huge change. Same with the States, they're coming to 250 years. So, changes within North America, the structure of government, the alliances that are being made, uh, within both countries, but within our own country, Canada, it's going to be one that you have to be strong. You have to be able to battle through this. Um, I'm looking at different things that are coming in from people saying treaty rights and all of this, and some of the things are like, well, it they're going by what their ancestors said, and it was all oral, so it's not, um and we know how things can get changed around, especially if it's passed from word of mouth to word of mouth to word of mouth when nothing is actually written down. Um, to claiming that this is all ours, to that you're gonna find that another next door is gonna say, "But hey, this part is mine. This part has always been ours. How can you claim that?" So then you're gonna find that there's gonna be things like tribal warfare, not, where the people are going to be wanting to say, "No, this is mine," and so the courts are gonna be extremely busy, and to a point that they may not be able to handle it all because it's gonna come up in some kind of disruption. And these are the things that are going to, um, you know, appear. A lot of fraudulent, um, energies. I mean, we're seeing things, right now in, Minnesota that, with the Somalias and the amount of billions of dollars that have been extorted, from the government, which is crazy, to, many different, other abstract things that are gonna be coming out from taxations and how much you're gonna be taxed. You're saying, "How much more can I be taxed?" Well, there will be more. Hello. So he's sleeping. So how much more is going to be, uncovered and revealed? So, yeah, so we're in a very changing dynamic energies that are coming forth. And with these changing dynamic energies, we just have to make sure that we're fortified and that we, um, make sure that we have what we need on hand as we are going through things. So, on that note, I know, Charlene, you just joined, but I'm going to partir here. And, ooh, you're making sausages today. How lovely. Sausages and turkey broth. Yummy. So, you all have a fabulous day. May the Lord and Lady watch over and bless you and take care of you and all you say and all you be and all you do. And we'll probably see you on New Year's Eve. All right. Have a blessed one. And if you're wanting your year reading, let me know. It's $100 for a year reading for 2026. Have a blessed one. Bye bye.